In Module 3, we briefly defined user-centered design as an interactive design model that focuses on the needs and expectations of the user. We expanded on this idea, explaining that in user-centered design, all design decisions take the user's mental models into account, assuring that design solutions work in ways the audience expects and/or can understand. But this is really just the tip of the iceberg. User-centered design comes from an understanding of people, what they want, what they need, and what will work best for them. It's a collaborative process that benefits from multiple points of view within the design team and end users. It provides opportunities for social innovation that cannot be found in other design methods, and it also encourages improvement in the usability and usefulness of any tool, product, or design that we interact with daily. User-centered design begins with questions. Who will be using this design? What are the tasks and goals of these users? What are their experience levels with this or similar designs and products? What functionality will they expect with this design or product? How will they expect this design or product to work? What information will they need to use it? What form should that information take? How can this design or product work with existing cognitive processes and mental models? One of the core principles of user-centered design is that relevance directly ties to its usefulness. In other words, people will continue to use a product or service if they feel it fills a specific need in the most effective manner possible. To accomplish this, designs using user-centered methods should seek to meet the following guidelines. Assign the appropriate level of visibility. Important elements, such as navigational aids, should be highly visible, while less important elements should be less so. Reduce memory load. Elements should be consistent from page to page, so users can recognize them rather than having to remember what they are. Provide feedback. If an action is required, users should receive immediate feedback after performing that action. Be accessible. Content should be organized in a manner that is visually accessible to users. Related information should come together. Content should be scannable. Navigation should be clear. Orient the user. Links should clearly look like links. Each page should link to another page without dead ends. Breadcrumbs should help users figure out where they are within the site. Minimize errors. Provide methods for users to recover quickly if they've entered incorrect information. Be attractive. Text should be legible and readable. Layouts should be aesthetically pleasing and thus perceived as easy to use. Grids should be used to organize content, navigation should be clear, and colors should be conservative. To design with a user-centered method, it's important to know your audience, their needs and expectations, the goals and tasks they need to accomplish using your designs, as well as their cultural influences, as these may have direct impact on their perception of your final products. You should also put your designs in front of your audience as frequently as possible, adjusting the designs as needed to achieve the best results in the end. Now that we have a better grasp of what user-centered design is, let's turn our focus to user experience, or UX design. At the center of user-centered design, we find our user, the reason for all design decisions. But those design decisions are actually used to define the user experience within our site, app, product, or service. User experience design can be defined as a multisensory environment in which people have an experience. A website counts as a multisensory environment. The purpose of UX design is to enhance a customer's experience with a product or service, thus encouraging them to use that brand more often. Usability, distinctiveness, relevancy, and context all factor into successful user experience design. In usability, the site or app uses a clear organization and presents materials in multiple formats to enable learning. For distinctiveness, the environment is unique and allows for interaction within that environment. For relevancy, the information is valuable for the audience. And for context, the design is developed for the circumstances in which the design will be seen. In other words, it's designed for its appropriate device. In the early days of user experience design, designers tended to focus on the human-computer interface, making sure that any interaction between humans and machines could be accomplished efficiently and easily. They made sure that buttons cause specific actions, for example. Today, designers tend to focus more on the user's emotional connections with the brand, the appeal of the interface, and the overall usability of the design. This means that designers today spend more time developing an environment that fosters customer interaction and potential loyalty, which opens up new and meaningful channels between clients and their audiences. As users encounter a design, they take in the information presented as a series of parts rather than as separate elements in the design. In other words, they cannot distinguish between interactive elements and the base programming used to present the materials. On the other hand, users perceive interactive elements as a single, unified design with layered information. In this, the user will be consciously aware of written language, graphic elements, sound, motion, and other information presented. But interface designs, interactive flows, and base programming should all fade into the background, allowing the audience to engage with upper-level interactive elements in a more natural manner. When developing user experience designs, make sure that all elements rank appropriately within the overall environment. Push text, graphic elements, sound, motion, and information forward, maintaining relevancy, distinctiveness, and usability in the best design solution for the most appropriate device.